Hello, in this video we're going to talk about the best identities for new players in Limbus Company. And forgive me, my green marker for my computer broke. I don't know why the software is not working, so there's no green marker this video. Anyway, let's get started right away. Okay, so here are the rules for what I'm going to use to evaluate best ID for new player. Okay, no Walpurgis Night content. That's limited and it's only going to be around for 2 weeks every 3 to 4 months. And so unless you're a new player coming into the game right then or the event just started, you're not going to have access. So we're not going to talk about Walpurgis Night content. We're also not going to talk about Season 5 content. The only way to get Season 5 content for the next 3 months is if you pull it randomly out of the common pool when you're doing gacha, okay? Now, when this season ends in December and we get Season 7 with Ryoshu's Kanto, the Season 5 content will return to be dispensable, and we can talk about it then for best identity, but we're not going to talk about it right now. Okay, number 3, priority is given to Season 6 content. New players, if you're watching this video, you have 3 more months to shard Season 6 content before it goes away for half a year while they develop the next season. Then after that, it'll become permanently available. It's just the preceding season is locked to try to incentivize you to get stuff this season, okay? So I'm going to prioritize rating stuff from Season 6 because if you're a new player and you're planning on sticking with the game, you're going to want the Season 6 content. Alright, number 4, ego synergy is permitted. I'm not going to talk about it a lot, but it is important. Some YouTubers ignore ego when they're evaluating an identity. Personally, I don't agree with that approach. But that's why I run my YouTube channel, so I can do my own thing. Okay, with the rules out of the way, let's get started. Now, quick note on the Season 1 free selector ticket all new players get. I will be excluding all Season 1 IDs from this video because you can claim one of them for free. I have a video on this called Best Season 1 Selector Ticket IDs. Already fully breaks this down, so I'm not even going to talk about it. I have down here listed the best options if you don't want to listen to that video and you just want to look at this. Okay. Now, what makes an identity good? Okay. Number 1, for a new player, it's solo efficiency. Now, when I say solo efficiency, I don't mean soloing the stage. I mean the ID is good by itself, okay? You put the ID in the team, it's good. That is the most important thing for new players because you probably don't have a full team of anything. Alright, number 2, Clash Power. Now, there's a ton of ways to manipulate Clash Power in Limbus Company, but if you're a noob, higher number is better. It's always better. You're going to win clashes easier. Winning clashes easier is the best way to beat the game, low stress. Again, this stuff can be manipulated a lot, and it changes in the end game once you start reaching Kanto 7, Kanto 8, because yes, the story content is the hardest content in this game, so that's end game. But, you know, high number is better, and we're just going to leave it at that. Number 3, growth potential. This is the potential for you get that shiny new unit, you've been grinding Mirror Dungeon, you're so proud, you just dispensed a new unit, you're new to the game. Alright, first it should be good on its own. Second, I want to give you units that grow into something strong, okay? As in they fit into a good team really well. Alright, last thing, status infliction. Dual status is insanely good because that means you can build them into 2 teams and they can activate 2 Mirror Dungeon gift bonuses, which makes them insane in Mirror Dungeon, the main grinding mode of this game. And if you're new, you're going to want to start grinding, so having strong grinding units is nice. And it gives you twice as many options as another ID might if it's a dual status unit. Alright, now, I've talked your ear off for 4 minutes. I'm not going to hold the ball anymore. This is the list, alright? These are the winners. If you want to stop watching the video here, go ahead. But if you want to keep watching and hear the explanation for each, you can feel free to do so. I'll also include a lightning round where we go through another 9 really strong units, and I'll do another lightning round where we go through all the 2-star identities worth building. Alright, so here are the winners. The Lord of Honglu, Mao Adept Faust, Capo Merceau, and Wu Adept Yisong. Now, the first 3 picks are not controversial at all. I think pretty much every single veteran player in Limbus Company is going to agree with me. The fourth pick is going to be a little bit controversial, but I'll explain why when we get to him. Now, if my list has changed drastically, I had a video called Best Identities for New Players. I took it down. I'll link it in the description if you're curious how the meta has changed the last half year. And I took it down and made the video unlisted because none of the information in that video is accurate anymore. None of it. Not because I was wrong, but because just the meta of the game has started to shift so much in Season 6. Alright, so now let's talk about why each of these units is good. Okay, Lord of Hongyan. Now, he's a dual status unit. He does Rupture and he does Poise, okay? So you can build him into a Rupture team, you can build him into a Poise team, does not matter. He's also really good by himself. In fact, he even has a bonus that activates if no other Heisho Pack or Gia family units are on the field, right? He gets the enhanced skill 3 called Lonesome Stand, right? Kind of sad, he's lonely, but means that even if he's by himself, you haven't built anyone else, it's still really good. So he's dual status, he's solo viable, he's a faction leader, so his growth potential is insane. He has the most growth potential in the game because you can grow him into a team of bodyguards for him who he gives insane buffs to, and he just has high numbers. I'm not going to put the numbers up on screen right now, but his numbers are above average and they're good. You can check them yourself if you want, but it's true. He does have, I think, -1 defense level, so he's going to take about 3% more damage than an average unit would, but in exchange he gets bonus offense level too, which makes his higher numbers even better because he's going to do more damage, and that higher offense level, excuse me, I hiccuped, and that higher offense level will make him clash easier, okay? Now, if you're curious about what offense level is specifically, again, I have another video breaking down the whole concept of leveling up. But there you go. Lord of Hongyang Honglu, 10 out of 10 unit. Every player who's new to Limbus Company should get him in the next 3 months, honest to God. I don't even need to talk about the ego synergy because all of this stuff is so good. But he does have a really strong default ego, Land of Illusion, and he is the current Season Pass unit. So if you do spend the $10 for the Season Pass, you're going to get good ego for Honglu. Okay. Now, Mao Adept Faust. She is a Rupture and Speed unit. So she's not dual status, which is a bit of a shame, but that would, make her broken. However, Speed I have highlighted because that gives her insane solo viability, because it means she can hit her conditionals without needing Rupture on the enemy just by making herself faster. She'll lose a little bit of coin power for the enemy not having Rupture, but she'll still gain most of her bonuses simply for existing and being faster. And she has a high speed range of 4 to 7. She gives herself a ton of haste, and she combos with default egos like Yisong's Crow's Eye View, which gives haste to the whole team. So that's a default ego right there that can enhance her. So her solo viability with no other Heisho units and no other Rupture units is insane. She does a ton of damage. It's almost ludicrous, really. She's tanky, which is just the cherry on top. She has assist defense, which can activate to protect your team. And you don't even need to use her with your brain on. She's, honest to God, just that good. She has high numbers, and she builds into the current strongest team, which is being the Heisho Pack Rupture team. So if you sharded Lord of Hongyang, you can shard Mao Faust right after. Perfect. Talking about ego synergy really quick. She fuels Representation Emitter, okay? She fuels it. Representation Emitter costs 4 Pride, 2 Gluttony. What does Mao Faust have? A Gluttony skill and a Pride skill. So she can fuel her own default ego, which also happens to be a really good ego, because Representation Emitter has attack weight and heals your team's sanity. Okay, let's move on to number 3. Capo Merceau. He's a dual status unit. He does Tremor and he does Burn. Already talked about why dual status is amazing, so I'll just say it again once more. It means that he builds into 2 different teams and he can activate 2 sets of Mirror Dungeon gifts. He does everything. He has insane damage, he's tanky, he has high clash value, he doesn't care who's on his team, he just works. Also, being totally honest, he has insane aura. He's just really cool, and having fun in this game matters. You will enjoy using him. I do have to note, though, he can run out of ammo. This is why he's not number one on the list, because he can run out of ammo, and that does suck. He's also not number one because his growth potential isn't quite as high, since he doesn't build into an insane team like the Lord of Hongyang does. But seriously good unit. You should strongly consider sharding him, because it doesn't even matter where you throw him in. He just works. All right, let's talk about number 4, the controversial pick, okay? Every YouTuber has to throw in one controversial pick, but I really believe this is a super strong unit for new players, and that's Wu Adept Yisong. Now, he has a dual status unit because he does Tremor and he does Rupture. So again, he procs 2 sets of Mirror Dungeon gifts, and you can build them into 2 different teams, which as a new player is a nice convenience, right? If you got Capo Morceau, you have a Tremor unit. Now you're getting Wu Adept Yisong, another Tremor unit. Plus, you can slot them in and out of the Heisho team. He also is a speed unit, so he does 2 statuses, and he's a speed unit. And this is crazy because it means he can meet his own conditionals to make his clash power, which is admittedly not amazing, but he can meet his own speed conditionals to take his clash power from average to good, because it's not hard to meet speed conditionals. He will make himself faster, and he even has an ego, Crow's Eye View, that's a default Yisung ego that makes the team faster. So this will not be a hard conditional to meet. So really, he does 3 things: Tremor, Rupture, Speed. He builds into the best team in the game, okay? He builds into the Heisho Pack Lord of Hongyang team, and he's tanky, and he purges negative effects from himself with his guard skill. Very, very few units in the game can purge negative effects in themselves, right? And this is valuable when you're dealing with units that are going to inflict a lot of burn to you, that are going to inflict a lot of tremor to you, that are going to inflict a lot of bleed to you, right? Or even things like, I don't know, attack power down, or paralyze, or just whatever. So it's good. And alright, that's Wu Adept Yisong. Okay, we're going to do the lightning round. We'll talk about each of them for like 20 seconds. Wild Hunt Heathcliff. He is permanently available now, which is awesome. Clash power is good. It's been power crept a little bit compared to the Season 6 units, but he still has good clash power. He inflicts sinking, which is really good, although there are a couple of story bosses that are bad choices to use sinking on. And he's not a team leader, but he will give a small bonus to Wuthering Heights units by making them revive for 1 turn on death. So he's not like a faction leader, but he's still really good. He's definitely the number 1 lightning round pick. Okay, number 2, Spice Bush Yisong. Only unit in the game that does Sinking Deluge, which is very useful for Mirror Dungeon achievements, very useful for one-shotting bosses. Really cool unit, super great art. Definitely I recommend him. Molar Ishmael, dual status unit. She's Tremor and Sinking. She inflicts a freaking ton of it. She's kind of a status god. She has an Evade, which is the best defense skill. Overall, very solid unit. Zwei Ishmael, very tanky, tons of Rupture, extremely high clash power, super solid unit, good for all stages of the game. Soldato Sinclair, not an amazing unit on his own, but he reloads and gives ammo to Capo Morceau. So if you're loving Capo Morceau, he's your jam. Get this guy too before the season ends. Get Soldado Sinclair. Alright, T-Corp Otis. Really high clash power, easy to use. She inflicts Tremor Chain, which reduces enemy clash power. One of the most underrated status effects in the game. Not enough people talk about Tremor Chain being good. And T-Corp Otis she doesn't build into like a T-Corp team, so you can throw her with any Tremor units. So again, if you got Wu Yisong, if you got Capo Morceau, maybe you're liking Tremor more than you like Rupture, T-Corp Otis is out there, and she's Season 6, so that also adds to her desirability to claim. Sync Sinclair, not enough people talk about him, and they don't recommend him to new players because N-Corp Sinclair exists. And N-Corp Sinclair you can get with the selector ticket and is absolutely busted. However, if you use your selector ticket on anyone else, you should really consider looking at Sync Sinclair because he's a speed unit, so he has super easy conditionals to meet. He has ridiculous clash power, and really high damage. Now his damage has been power crept a little bit compared to units like Mao Faust. Well, not a little bit. He has been power crept. But Sync Sinclair, honestly, still one of the solo goats. Throw him in any team and he just works. K-Corp Honglu, still the best tank in the game. That's all I have to say. I mean, he's borderline unkillable. If you need a really good tank or you like tank units, maybe that's like your archetype and your favorite MMO or something, K-Corp Honglu, best tank in the game. Butler Ryoshu, lots of attack weight, lots of poise. Super glad she's permanently available now. If you like kind of high damage units that hit a lot of people at once, Butler Ryoshu will be your jam. Okay, best 2-star identities to build. We got Sync Otis. She's an evade tank, which is a really rare archetype in this game, but it works for Sync Otis. Zwei West Sinclair. Do not upgrade Zwei South Sinclair. Only Zwei West Sinclair. That's the Sinclair that wears plate armor. He's just a consistently good unit. He's like baby Zwei Ishmael. 7 Ryoshu, high clash power, high damage. Ring Otis, she does a lot of bleed. LCCB Ishmael, her clash power is horrible. She's been power crept in that regard, but she inflicts a ton of rupture, and she's overall pretty fun to use. LCCB Ryoshu, she kind of is all over the place in that she like, I think she does tremor and rupture, but she's still fun to use and she has a strong passive. She Ishmael, every account has. You have her, and is honestly goated. She gets insane with her skill too. If she's below 50% HP, you should consider upgrading your She Ishmael. She Don Quixote, she has good clash power, consistent unit. W Corp Faust, she inflicts a lot of negative debuffs on the enemies that can make your fights go a lot smoother. And Pequod Yisong is a kind of really good bleed and poise unit. Okay, so in conclusion, prioritize Season 6 units. It's worth it. It's really worth it. They're going to go away for half a year come December when we get Kanto 9. And if you want to build the current best team in the game, you're going to need them. However, I have this picture of Ryoshu on the side, because if you're someone who's like, this rupture meta is not for me, or, I just don't really feel like farming in Limbus Company, I just want to save up slowly over time, consider too, in 3 months, the meta will change completely. Ryoshu's Kanto will come out. Ryoshu, probably after her Kanto comes out in 3 months, will probably get a story identity for her 2 months or 1 month after that. Well, probably 2 months after that. And that will reshape the meta again, and we'll get a new best team. It'll probably be Burn. Burn will probably be the status effect for 2026, okay? Also, consider what egos you have, right? Maybe if you got a really cool ego for Otis, maybe you're like, actually, I'm really liking Otis, and I got a really cool ego for her. I'm going to skip Lord of Hongyong for now. You should still consider getting him, but maybe skip him for now, and maybe get T-Corp Otis, right? Think about what egos you have. Yisong and Merceau are still core carries for new accounts because their default egos are very strong. Crow's Eye View, attack power down is same turn, is invaluable in the Unbreakable Coin meta. And for Merceau, Chains of Other applying 4 attack power down next turn, still invaluable for its ability to invalidate bosses. And both of those affect speed, and a lot of the best units are speed units. Crow's Eye View makes you faster, Merceau's Chains of Others makes them slower. So either one is going to make you meet your speed conditionals on your team, outside of whatever skills you're doing. So anyway, consider getting a good Yisong ID and consider getting a good Merceau ID. Anyway, I hope this video helped you, and good luck out there, managers. Enjoy the game.